This is
the official Sunday Morning Glory podcast.
Crashing, hit a wall. Right now, I need a miracle. Hurry up now, I need a miracle. Stranded, reaching out.
Alright guys, yeah, that intro is cool. I'm talking here. Can you just turn the music? Can you please turn the music down? Thank you. Oh, they never listen to me. I'm Boone Jensen. Week 9 Sunday Morning Glory action coming your way, and here we go.
In my head, darling, I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most. So don't let me down. Don't let me down.
Had a little technical disturbances back there. You know, the studio's trying to have less of me in the intro and more music. You know, keep the viewer entertained. But I mean, I'm the voice behind this show. Why wouldn't you wanna listen to hear what I have to say? It's very important. Regardless, you know, forget all that. Week 9, wow. Let's just recap week 8 real quick because that was crazy. Meaning 2 top tier teams fell to 2 bottom tier teams, and without further ado, you know, Damos Bozos beats Kevin Bence's That's Your Whole Thing 124 to 114. That is wild. Will Fuller came up big for Damo in that one. And then, you know, A Team Has No Name lost to Team Terry Folds 138 to 118. Juju Smith-Schuster was Sean's top receiver, you know, top point getter in that one, and that was just crazy. The Vegas Sharps, man, they've been on that Team Terry Folds money line, and it's been a lot of pushes so far, you know, with the ties, but I mean, it prevailed there, and you know, Vegas loses some money in that one as Matt was a top you know, money line choice. Regardless, you know, Zach wins again. That's 4 wins in a row. He's 5-3 now. He beat White Power, who has tough luck of the draw. You know, he lost with 124 points. Normally, in any other week that usually wins, it would have beaten all but 2 of the teams in Sunday Morning Glory this past week. Shane Farrell's Foam and Glow just edges out Brandon Lapham's LSU Tigers alumni 96-94. Shane's kicker, Harrison Butker, was actually his top point getter, which is always always good to see. You know, when your kicker outshines the rest of your team. Or is it? I don't know. Team Cooper loses in terrible fashion to Team Taylor, 95-64. Andy Dalton had a good week for Taylor. Not sure how Corbin continues to go with Andy Dalton as his starting QB. You know, there's always options on the waiver wire, but it's working so far. And Joey Iliano's Weapon X B-Dog 20 edges out OJ's parole board. That's CJ Boyer's team, 119-92. Jack Doyle comes out on top with a 30-point performance, which was arguably his best game of his career, and he's definitely looking like a top running back, tight end for the rest of the season, so that's a good pickup for Joey. Moving on, week 9, you know, that's in the past. We're moving on now. We have one 7-1 team. We have a bunch of teams that are 3-5. We have teams that are 4-4. The playoff hunt is real. The playoff hunt is alive. You know, it's week 9 now. It's closer to playoffs than not, so you definitely want to start talking about it this soon. Just going off, you know, Joey, he's officially mathematically clinched the playoffs, and we have Matt and Kevin, who are directly behind him at 6-2. They aren't mathematically in, but it's pretty safe to assume with 8 playoff spots that they are both in. Going down the lane, you got Zach, who is now 5-3, I want to say. 5-3. Yeah, he actually has a very important matchup coming up. But it's pretty safe to assume that he might have playoffs on lock because the other, I want to say, 6 teams that are fighting for the last 4 spots. So that's gonna be tough for whoever misses out. Yeah, and the playoff fight, you got OJ's parole board, LSU Tigers alumni, White Power, Team Taylor, Foam and Glow, and Team Terry Foles, and also Team Cooper. Team Cooper kind of on the outside looking in at this point. He's got he really needs to win in the next. But let's get into the preview. That's your whole thing. Playing off against Team Bananas. That's a fun matchup right there, and I'll tell you why. Kevin is on a crazy bye week hell in this one. Let me just put it to you this way: his whole team's basically out. He's very he's very Patriots oriented, and he's very he's got Steelers player. Let me just break it down. Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady, Duke Johnson Jr., and Danny Amendola are all on bye for him. Those are huge losses because four of those names have been pretty good difference makers for his team. So really, he's still putting out a decent lineup. It's just not anywhere near the caliber of the last few weeks. The team has been able to put out. And he plays against Zach, who's on a 4-game win streak, riding high. I don't think Zach has any crazy buys that he has to deal with. He's projected 120 points. So yeah, the only one, Jerick McKinnon's his only bye week player. He's rolling out his top lineup. He's going in hot. It's going to be tough for Kevin. Kevin might be on the verge of his first losing streak of the season, and Zach's going to continue what he started. He's rolling right now. Moving on, OJ's parole board versus Damo's Bozos. Damo gets hit finally with the Zeke suspension. It's looking like it's staying, but you never know. Everything changes. He's got Alfred Morris. I'm pretty sure he got in that trade, so he'll be okay. It remains to be seen what the Cowboys are going to do with their running back situation, considering they have 3 running backs. They're rolling with a running back by committee, so it's not going to be anywhere near Zeke numbers. So Damo's taking a hit in that. It doesn't really matter. He's 1-7. There's not really much up from here, but CJ needs this win. He needs to edge this out. And playoffs are looming. They're coming quick. LSU Tigers alumni is playing off against White Power. That should be a pretty close matchup on paper. Mike needs it more than Brandon does, but that's not to say they both need it. It's crunch time now. Mike has projections edged out 106-95 at this current time, and yeah, that's going to be a fun one to watch. And then you have Corbin facing off against Joey Iliano's squad. Corbin, it's Thursday now. It's about that time where you got to set your roster for the week, and he's still at 6 players on his roster. With bye weeks and whatnot, he's got to figure that out. I'm hoping he's not losing interest. It's not the time. You put in $100 to play in this league. The grand prize is pretty legit, so you want to do whatever you can to even give yourself a shot at winning that money. So Corbin, set your roster. Don't take an auto loss because Joey's a top threat in this league. And as of right now, Joey's projected 115 to Corbin's 62. After Corbin sets his roster, it might get closer to a 90-point projection or so. So yeah, moving on. A team has no name playing off against Foam and Glow. That's Shane Farrell's team. Projections are close on this one. It's pretty tight. It's 107. Shane just edges out to Matt. It's 106 score for him, and that'll be a fun one to watch. Matt doesn't need this win as much as Shane. Shane really needs this one. Shane's in the hunt, like I said. And then Team Terry Folds is playing off against Team Cooper, and this is where it gets fun because all since I've been doing these podcasts, I've kind of taken some shots at Sean's squad. At one point, it was almost funny how rough it was looking for him with the injuries and just how oh my god with the ties and whatnot. It was unbelievable, really. Like, you can't make it up. He gets a huge win last week against a team has no name, and now he's on the outside looking in, but he's in a good spot. He's playing off against Dale, who's also who's been flying, not flying, I should say. Dale has been putting up some really bad performances. So if Sean can take advantage of this, he's leader in projections in this one. He's gonna be pretty threatening if he gets if he gets into the playoffs and David Johnson possibly returning this season. There's been they've very quiet on that front. Nobody really knows yet. And then you have Greg Olsen returning, and I'll put it to this way, Greg Olsen, we know the type of tight end he could be, but think about this. Kelvin Benjamin was just traded. Who's the top target on Carolina right now? Devin Funchess. But once Greg Olsen returns, that's his team again. He's getting the targets. That's a pretty good tight end to be receiving at this point in the game. And if he could get that 8th spot, upsets happen, and Sean could be that guy who just gets that 7th or 8th seed, and he edges it out, and that'll be pretty crazy. No real big waiver moves this week. The only one I could really think of that the top target was Alex Collins. Mike picks him up. Other than that, Darren McFadden was a big one. The two Florida running backs, they might be splitting time now that Ajayi was traded. And, that no big trades in SMG. We just had the NFL trade deadline. So you got Kelvin Benjamin going to the Chargers. You got Ajayi going to the Eagles. That's, Garoppolo's going to the 49ers. That's about all the major trades in the NFL market. Now, of course, it wouldn't be an episode here in SMG without a special guest, and this one is the most specialist of guests. We have Nick White Nasty Goddarici, brother of our very own Mike Goddarici, in studio, ready to answer some very important questions. Nick, happy to have you, man.
Hey, how you doing? It's great to be on the show. Huge fan.
Yeah, I hear you're a big fan. Do you try and tune in every week?
I try to, but it's scheduled. I'm sure you know how it is.
Oh, yeah, of course. Life sometimes gets in the way and whatnot. Speaking of, who's your pick to go all the way this season?
Oh man, so many great teams, so many bad teams.
Yeah, you can only pick one.
I might have to go with Matt Benz. He has an outstanding team.
Wow, such a smooth, sweet talker you are, Nick. I'll be sure to relay that over to Matt. How do you feel about your brother's team this season?
To be honest, I haven't been following his team too much.
Yeah, I'm sure we could both agree his team's not really worth following.
I gotta be honest, I just missed this year's draft. It was 2 seconds away until Joey took my spot.
So, Nick, if you were in the league, do you really feel like you would be a top contender?
It's hard to say. It's fantasy football. Anything could happen, but yeah, I strongly believe I am a fantasy football champion.
Now, I understand you're also a Washington Redskins fan. We got a bunch of Eagles fans in the league. Do you think Eagles are the real deal?
It's hard to say. We're only halfway through the season. Yeah, Carson Wentz looked like he could be MVP candidate, but I hate to say it, but yeah, that was very impressive.
Wow. Bold. Very bold. And how do you feel about your Redskins? You think they're doing all right? You like what you're seeing?
Honestly, injury report is like 5 pages long. I don't want to hold that to an excuse, so I'm just going to say, lights out, season's over.
Wow. All right. Well,
Nick, you know, we like to keep it short and sweet. We appreciate you for coming on the show. I know you're a big fan. Keep tuning in, man. Definitely appreciate it. You have a good one, all right?
All right. Have a good one, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nick Goderici, everybody. We were happy to have him in the studio. Wow. It's always good to have a refreshing outsider's point of view into the league because, you know, we've had a lot of interviews within the league this season. So when you get an outsider's perspective, it really it blows me away. Last season we had Rocco on for the playoffs, and that was a unique perspective from the viewers, the fans. You know, we like to hear from them, and you know, Nick, he talked the talk, and we were happy to have him. Anyway, that's gonna do it for Sunday Morning Glory Week 9. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good day.